How's it going? How's it going, Arcicula? Arcicula. Healing Soul, how's it going? Talk about knowing thyself. Know thyself. Much love. Let's see who's going to join us. I've literally just started right now, so let's vibe to a bit of music. Give it a few minutes for some people to join in, and I will start talking. Whatever wants to flow. So let's see who's going to join us. Let's vibe into a bit of breakbeat music. Happy Friday! Happy Friday! Kaiser Soze, how's it going? Much love. Thank you very much for joining in. Hola, Costa Rica. Thank you very much for being here, Weight Player. Always a pleasure. So, how's everyone doing? I've been speaking quite a little bit. I've been speaking quite a little bit today. Just in general, to people. In general. Like to fucking speak, man. Exercise that throat chakra. Anyway, one of the things we got to do, well, we got to share knowledge and wisdom, without a doubt. You know, if you come into your higher self, you ain't got a fucking choice. You've got to do it. Like, information has to be shared. That's the only way. It is a form of unconditional love. sharing information, just sharing knowledge, sharing experiences. So I always like to talk about my experiences, and awakening continues, the process continues, and more is revealed, more is revealed each and every single time you shed another layer. So the layers keep shedding, you know. Every time you think you're done, there's another layer, and you think you're done, there's another layer. But the beauty of it is, it's always revealing more of the truer nature of things. So funny enough, it's not about knowing yourself. Knowing thyself is about forgetting who you think you are, forgetting everything you think you know, everything you thought was right, everything you began to believe. Because we are a product as human beings, most of us, from a 3D consciousness perspective, nothing but a set of fucking programs running on autopilot, an unconscious mind that's been full with information from external sources. For the most part, we've been taught what to think and not how to think. And you've got to remember how to think again and forget about thinking about anything whatsoever. So you got to remember how to think and forget about what you think about. Interestingly. So what do I mean by that? Well, we happen to, in the 3D world, what happens? We tend to become more conscious thinkers, right? We start to figure everything out, because what happens at school, we are taught. You learn methods, you learn this way, you learn the science and the way things should be done. That's the way it should be done. So we follow protocols, we follow rules, we follow regulations. So what becomes the most commonly trodden path typically is what people follow. I read a book a long time ago, a lot about, well, I read a number of books. I've got it down here actually, I just can't reach it. It's where it is right now. But I forget the name of it because it was over 20 years ago I bought this book. But it's about going against the herd and thinking the opposite to the majority. It's something that I started to do a long time ago when I was trying to figure out the stock market and trying to figure out the right way to do it. So what I started to do was I figured out, well, most people don't make it. Most people don't figure it out. So I started to do things differently. So my thing has always been to not follow the herd. So that's why when you see my page and you listen to me, it's always going to be quite different. It's always going to be unique. There's going to be stuff you've never heard before. Like my breath work. A lot of people are amazed, like, why do you do it with your mouth? Isn't breath work supposed to be done through the nose? And now I explain it, and common sense just tells you get more fucking oxygen through the mouth. Just use common sense. So, like, common sense is a better way than following the herd. Like, common sense is not common, unfortunately. So what happens is we think the right way should be the way the majority do stuff. And we obviously know it isn't. You only got to look at 99% of humanity out there. Right, so remember, when you're awakening, you're truly awakening, like, to a higher consciousness level, and we're talking about living from a 5D level of consciousness. We're no longer as physical anymore. We're not as dense anymore. We're not as dense, we are not we're not vibrating as low anymore. So as you vibrate higher, I'm always talking about vibing higher, right? Vibe high. So on a cellular level, you're either vibrating lower, right? Slower, lower, or faster, right? So I spoke a lot about sound frequencies, wave frequencies, everything being sound frequencies, wave frequencies. Even our brain waves have frequencies. Our brain has frequencies. Heart consciousness has frequencies. Everything can be measured in frequencies. I mean, you can actually get an electric voltometer, right, and measure your own self You're an electrical being. And the more you activate your 5D consciousness, your electricity in your whole body fucking picks up. You can actually measure it with a voltmeter, right? Because you're an electrical being. So as you awaken to your true nature, you realize, you know, I'm a multi-dimensional, very electrical, energetic being. It's a very different way to look at yourself than from a 3D, very dense, I'm a human being and that's it perspective, you know. And I spoke about this in my previous video as well yesterday, like getting out of this mindset of I'm just this physical limited self. You know, remember that there are realms upon realms. Like I often spoke about 7 main planes of existence, and physical just being one of them. We've got astral realm, we've got mental realm, we've got the Buddhic plane, we've got the monadic planes, right? So there are realms, planes. Okay, I've spoke about other chakras, not just the 7 chakras. There's an 8th chakra here, above your head, and then there's a 9th chakra, which is the Akashic records. 10th chakra, God consciousness realms. 11th chakra, the realm of pure bliss and nirvana. 12, heaven. 13th realm of the cosmic realm. 14th, celestial realms. So that's what I've discovered by forgetting about who the fuck I thought I was. So and the journey continues. So knowing thyself is about forgetting about what you know, because you can't know yourself, not from a limited perspective. So when you stop trying to know yourself from that perspective, and you are that witness, the observer, you're no longer caught up with the thinker. You realize you are the dreamer, not the dream, not the person in the dream. You are the dreamer. Your soul is having a dream, and you're in the dream. And your soul has had many dreams. This is just one of them. Every lifetime is a dream. You just keep waking to the same one. You just keep waking up to the same one every day, until this life expires. So, you know, when it's my birthday, I said, look, it's 44 years have expired, because this is an expiration date on this dream. Just like every dream, the time is ticking, the pendulum is swinging. So this is why energy is everything. Like when you realize you're just energy and everything is energy, like you have to live from that perspective. Like a lot of people talk a good game, right? Energy is everything. I am energy, you know? Everyone talks about it. But are you living from that consciousness perspective? Are you really getting it? Are you really understanding like everything is waveform frequency, and everything that I thought was physical and what I thought I was as a human being is not true? Are you really getting that? Because a lot of people aren't getting it. They're just like, and it's really just going over their head. Because as I just said, I'm speaking to a lot of people today, and I'm realizing people ain't getting it, man. Like, but that's fine. Like everyone gets it their own way, and everyone gets things at the right time when it's the right time for them. But my job here is just to keep sharing my information, and knowing that the right people will find it at the right time. So no matter where you're at the right place. Wherever you're supposed to be, you're there. Wherever you're supposed to be, you're here now because you're supposed to be. If you weren't supposed to be here, you wouldn't be here. Like, you have to remember everything here is happening for a reason. The good stuff, the bad stuff, everything is just a lesson. We've only come here to learn. Like, this dream that we're in is about learning. We take lessons from the good and the bad. As long as we keep growing, and we keep dreaming, and we keep co-creating, the dream's only going to get better. Remember, we only take the memories with us. Your unconscious mind is eternal. Your conscious, limited thinking mind here is going to be limited to just this experience. But that is identity based. It's based upon who you think you are. And that is not who you truly are. As I mentioned in my recent videos, right, I keep referring to this book, The Opening of the Third Eye by Dr. Douglas Baker, which I've been reading since I was 15 years old. Right? Just put things into perspective. And this ain't the only way to look at it, but this is the physical plane here. This is the astral plane. This is the higher mental plane. This is the Buddhic plane. This is the atomic plane. This is the monadic plane. This is the divine logic plane. So we as a physical body are just here. And that's what most people have begun to believe they are. So knowing yourself, thinking you are that, ain't gonna fucking happen. You gotta forget about being just that, because that's the lies you've been fed, right? So you got to unlearn a lot of this. Knowing yourself is about forgetting yourself, at least who you thought you were, because you're not who you think you are. That's the reality of it. You're not this person. You're much fucking more. And only when you let go of what you think you are and believe you are, will you ever discover it. I'm not going to tell you. That's for you to figure out. But I can tell you, there's a lot fucking more to you. There's a lot more to me, and I'm discovering more. I'll give you little insights, but it's better for you to just do it yourself. Find out yourself. Like, you don't need to read books. It's all within. You just have to do the practice. So practice is what it's about. Like breath work, meditation, exercise. Like, you have to do the exercises. Like, to know that you are an energetic being and you're just energy. And waveform, everything is sound. In the beginning, there was a word. What is a word? It's a sound. It's a sound frequency. A big bang. It's a bang. Bang is a word. It's vibration, sound frequencies, right? So we are. Everything is sound. That's why you hear your thoughts. I keep saying it. You hear your thoughts. That's why everyone loves music. Sound will heal your mind. Music will heal your mind because it replaces the noise. If you don't like what you're listening to, just change the channel, right? But as you keep doing that, a lot of this is just old habits. You've got into habits of thinking in a certain way. As a human being, that's what we are. We're habitual beings. We pick up habits and we keep doing what we get used to until we break it. So if we don't like what we're doing, it's up to us to change it. And that takes some conscious effort and discipline. But when you get consciously competent at doing the new habits, just like driving a car, you become unconsciously competent, meaning it becomes automatic. So that's all that happens. You learn how to think about yourself. You learn what to believe about yourself. And those all become habits. And that's it. It's just habits. You've got a habitual way of seeing yourself. You've got a habitual way to be. As you break what you believe about yourself, as you break what you think about yourself, you replace it with new thought, new information, new identity. Like, if you don't like what you're hearing, change the fucking channel. Like, you can change the channel. You don't have to keep listening to the same shit song. Everyone could change the channel. And you have to remember that you have that power. The only thing you have to do initially is stop listening to that old channel. Stop listening to the old frequencies, the information you don't like. Like, change the channel. Like, you are just receiving information. Everything we're perceiving is just information. Everything is information. All we do is take that information in and make sense of it. How you see the world around you is totally down to you. Like, somebody can see something, exactly the same thing, and see it as good, and somebody else can see it as bad. I can look at one car and like it, and somebody else can look at the same car and say, oh, that's a shit car. Is the car shit or good? It's just a matter of perspective. Everything is perspective. Everything is perception, is a projection. Like, there is no perception really. It's all projection. We're just taking in information and making sense of it. That's it. So if you don't like the way you're seeing it, you have to change the way you're seeing it. You have to reframe it. NLP technique is to reframe how you see the world. Like if you don't like something you do, some people don't like their job. Okay, we don't like your job. Think about all the good things about your job. It's paying you fucking money, right? Right? That's the positive. Okay, what about if you didn't have the job? Would you be happier? Probably not. Most people, spend their time worrying about things and moaning about things which they actually love, stupidly enough. Like, people worry about shit. I said, look, keep a worry journal. One of the ways I stopped being so anxious and worrying was just to keep a worry journal, man. Anything I worry about, write it down. If it's in your head, you're going to keep worrying about it because you're not doing anything about it. As soon as you write your worry down, you ask yourself, is it hypothetical or is it practical? Most of the time, what you worry about, what you're scared of, is not practical. It's hypothetical, meaning it doesn't make sense. So that one exercise alone will help you shed those old layers, those bullshit layers that keep you down at a lower vibrational rate. Because most of what you're thinking about and worrying about and being scared about and developing doubts about is just old patterns that you haven't let go of. And if you ask yourself a simple question, like firstly, just write down your worry, write down your fear, write down your doubt, and then ask yourself, should I have this doubt? Is it practical or is it hypothetical? Most of your worries are hypothetical, meaning they make no sense to have. But when they're stuck in your head and you don't write them down, you don't realize that. You just keep thinking it. Right? It's very simple techniques. So as long as you do something about it, like when you start activating higher consciousness, like you gotta keep it activated. It's like switching a light bulb on. Your light comes on, but it can go off. The matrix world is a low vibrational fucking environment, right? Most people are asleep. Okay, so surrounding yourself with people that are zombies and mostly are asleep, it's going to rub off on you. So you've got to be careful what energy you surround yourself with, because we're energy. So the 5 people you surround yourself most with is who you're going to become a reflection of in most cases. Like they will rub off on you. Energy attracts like energy. Like, so even if you're trying to change, but if the people you surround yourself with are not moving in that direction, they will hold you down. It's weight. So you got to remember, as you ascend and you vibrate higher, like you got to let shit go. You got to let people go. You got to let thoughts go. You got to let beliefs go. Like if you're serious about it. Some people ain't willing to do that. Like I had to let go of a lot of bullshit friends, like gangster friends, which great for the ego, but my gangster life is over, right? But that was a world I was in. And it's remember that people can and will use you and your energy if you have a lot of energy. So, you know, you can use your energy in good ways and bad ways. So remember that when we are developing more and more energy, we got to harness it and do good with it as well. So you will, without a doubt, with the Kambo breathwork framework, again, if you haven't started the course, just go to mindandmatter.com. It's completely free. Start that. Start activating your consciousness, because it's down to you. It don't just happen. Like you have to do practice. So this is why I do the breathwork. I do the qigong, walk in nature, go to the gym, like just stuff, like getting stuff. You got, and actually, as you get more energy, you're gonna need to do more. So you're gonna have to use that energy somehow. Like I have to use it by being creative, doing stuff on here, my work. Like I can't do enough. Like that is what 5D consciousness is. Like I have to do martial arts, I'm doing DJing, I'm doing my trading, I'm doing other work, I'm doing therapy, I'm doing this stuff in my own time. Like literally, like there's so much fucking time in 24 hours. People are just complaining. I don't know what you're complaining about. Like when you see things from a higher consciousness perspective, time fucking slows down. Right? Remember, when you're in gamma flow state, which people get into, like when you play sports, you get into the zone, time slows down. But when you get in a 5D consciousness and you stay there, time is consistently slow. So every day lasts longer. Now what's happening for the majority of the world, because they're not waking up, time is speeding up. But for those that are waking up, time is slowing down. Because we're speeding up. That's how it works. As you speed up, you vibrate higher, time slows down. Right? I mean, on page 1 of this book that I was reading since I was 15, The Opening of the Third Eye by Dr. Douglas Baker, it actually says that. Now I experience it. Now I know what it means, you know? 14 years later. The material world is an illusion, which I keep speaking about. But time can be manipulated, slow down so that we can live in the eternal now. So like that's why, like people say to me, how do you do all of that? And I'm going to keep doing more. Like I can't think of, like if you can, you just do it. I'm going to keep doing more. I wrote a book, right? Fucking never wrote a book before, right? Done a breathwork course. Just do, like you have to do stuff with your energy. Help people. Like that's what it's about. Like this is why humanity waking up is so powerful, because every person, like it's been said, will affect thousands and thousands of people. Like every person will affect thousands of people. So every one person that wakes up has a chance of affecting thousands. So that's how humanity changes. So you can all play your part, or you can stay at a lower level. It's totally down to you. It's really down to you whether you play the game or not. Like, you know, as they say in a game, right? You got non-participating characters, NPCs, in the simulation, or you got participating characters. You can either be a participating character or you can be a non-participating character. It's totally down to you. You know, that's the free will God gives you. You can play the game or you don't. You don't have to. You probably will keep coming back for another lifetime to complete it, because you will have to play the game at some point. Your soul will want to play the game at some point. If it's not this lifetime, it will be another lifetime. So when that time comes, just be ready, my friends. You'll probably come back to this page. Thank you very much for joining in.